background in permaculture and regenerative farming dating back more than 40 years.
Can you see
I'm
it
going
there?
to talk about how to create a regenerative,
Are you looking at it?
sustainable
Very good.
food garden. Or maybe it's better to call it a small farm, as it will include various animals, crops, even insects, all working in a food-producing biological cycle where everything is recycled as in nature. The tilted food garden will be based on nature's biological cycle. Soil, plants, animals. The soil, or rather soil life, is the invisible and most important part of a food garden that we often overlook because we cannot see it. The children must learn that the soil is full of life and that they must feed the soil life with manure and compost to grow plants and animals, which are our food. Basically, the children must learn that most of what we do in the food garden is directed towards making good, living, healthy soil, which will help the plants and animals to grow well. It would be very nice if they came away with the impression that they are soil gardeners or soil farmers. To make a children's food garden, we also need plants and animals, as many different kinds as possible. In permaculture, we talk about different plants and animals adapted to local conditions, as well as biogas and biogas slurry, various kinds of compost. Permanent things like raised beds, etc., are all stationary elements. In that way, a food garden will differ from place to place depending on the local conditions and opportunities. The critical thing is to remember that animal and plants must always be a part of integrated biological cycle that runs the whole food garden. The children's food garden must be based on nature's biological cycle, regenerative gardening and permaculture, production of biogas and beekeeping, production of biochar, production of all kinds of compost. I think that I conclude from the above that there's an awful lot of things to learn to a skill level to be able to do it. It is complex, it's regenerative, it's sustainable, it is very productive and requires no artificial inputs, and it's 100% nature's biological cycle, soil, plant, animal. It requires the kind of skills, kind of knowledge and understanding that is typically inherited from generation to generation and learned unconsciously over hundreds of years. That kind of traditional knowledge that children grow up with as a part of their identity. To learn skill on that level, the children must learn the same way as they learn to talk and walk. Using the Arini method in early childhood education is the only way to develop skills that the children will know and use for the rest of their life. The children's food garden must be a living, regenerative classroom where children can play and grow, experiencing and engaging with nature's biological cycle. The classroom must include children-sized models of all elements relevant to the food garden. The garden design must include a common area with plots where children can learn together to grow a wide range of plants and care for animals. At the same time, each child should have their own plot to grow vegetables or maybe even their own animals, so they can always show what they are doing and what they have learned to friends and family. At the age of 5 or less, they will make almost any animal a pet. But it doesn't matter for now. It is only about learning how to look after and grow an animal and understand what animals need to live. That children should be able to eat vegetables as they grow and bring home food for the family and maybe even for the friends at school. It may start with just vegetable or an egg, but it is essential to aim for the day where the children can bring home a whole meal for the family. That will be an achievement that the children will never forget, because I can still remember when I was doing it the first time. A child food garden must be open to public, allowing people to gather input and ideas to develop their own gardens or farms. It may even be possible to get some children to talk about what they're doing and how they're doing it. It is very likely that they will be very proud.
Okay. No, I don't know how we get back again.
Okay. So we have Cosmos here also from Cameroon. We have Kola. So Kola, you want to share a little update, or did you miss what we just shared? Are you there? Oh, Jeff is here. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll pass it to Leif. Leif, would you like to share on your discussions with the Singapore team of how we're going to do this, let's say? Because the Singapore team is probably, we've had some discussions. Have you had a talk with how we're going to do that in the plot?
Yeah.
As an example. Yeah.
I have a very good relation to I still don't know his name, but I can't say his name, but I know he is. And and we are discussing up and down how to do this thing, and we have shared some information which is other about what we know. There are a lot into it. There are a lot into nature and to nature's biological cycle, and they have been working with this kind of thing here for many years. So we are.
How do you think they can get started? Let's say we did the plan for the pilot for the Arini method, but how do you think we can do it for Singapore as an example?
I have to discuss that with him, because now I have been a little bit out of the picture, and I told him
no problem.
It will take a couple of weeks for me to really get back to thinking completely clearly. But he knows also that next week I think we really have to move for it. We have to remember one thing, at least when we talk about this thing. All the establishment of this children's garden is going to be a process. That's the most important thing, and it is actually by far the best if we have the children as a part of it when we are making it. That I think we already agree on, him and me. So we really want to start with the kind of things. Then I think we need also, both of us need to know more about the Arini method to see how to do that right.
Yeah.
Because you can see the way I think it's coming a little bit from my heart, okay?
Yeah.
And some of this has to come from the brain to the planning. The planning has to come from the brain. It doesn't come from the heart.
Right. So based on my discussions with Arini, the past few days we have been preparing the detailed plan, because now we want specific timelines, and we worked out that we want to start on the 28th of Feb, gradually, okay, every Saturday. All right, every Saturday. So there'll be 18 Zoom sessions. All right. So I've only shared the document. I think I've shared with you Leif. I've shared with the Singapore team. We'll also share with the Malaysian. Only those who are actually going for the pilot, we're sharing the detailed plan. So there'll be 18 Zoom sessions for 1.5 hours to 2 hours each. And that is for everybody. Now, I'll just share a few things. Wait a minute here. So yes, so about so the timing will be around quite early, 7 a.m. UTC, which is about 3 p.m. Singapore time. See whether we can adjust the timing a bit. So over 6 months, and this will involve everybody. So we're looking at 3 participant roles. The group A are the parents, future parents, educators, caregivers. So they are one group. The second group are the administrators. Those people who are just going to generally help. They can be part of the wider community. The group C are just generally the wider community. And we'll see how they can also assist, maybe in just various setup, etc. Now, to start the pilot, we need at least 10 members, 10 participants per country, per location. All right? For it to be useful, because there is a part where there is the trainer. So 18 weeks pilot, because it's 18 weeks, it means over 6 months. It's not every week, because 6 months is 24 weeks. So there'll be some gaps in between, okay? But it is to give an overview of all the components and strategies for the trainer to go in depth. And these concepts will be so natural to us that it opens up new vistas to the local countries. Okay? And Arini would like people to understand conceptual thinking through using the specific tools. I'll be showing some of the tools which will invite the local countries to print locally to keep the costs lower, or we will deliver them. And they can creatively apply them in their circumstances through working through the generative knowledge. Okay, so this means everybody, whether it's the parents, the teachers, and everybody else supporting, will need to attend every Saturday for 18 sessions. Okay, we will have frameworks to work with, and we'll explain how these frameworks will work and the premises they are based on. They operate on an integrated hub model. The integrated hub model is the home hub, the community hub, and the living classroom hub. Okay, so these are the 3. I will share slides on this separately on a video. So home hub, community hub, living classroom hubs. There are 3 hubs which will be set up. The home hub is for emotional regulation, social brain mapping. We will have the social brain mat and wise choices tools. Then the community hub, we will involve the wider community to be involved, play-based learning, values in action, volunteers being engaged. And the living classroom hub is the integrated food gardens, regenerative learning environment. So 3 parts. Okay. And I'm just going to type into the chat the phases, which I've shared before. Okay, right, here we go. I'll put it on the WhatsApp. In fact, it's already been typed on the WhatsApp. Take a look at your WhatsApp. And also on this chat. I'll put it on this chat also. So this is the first phase of the pilot. So that's the first 3 months: community, consultation, and foundations. So involving the community, a little bit of interaction with myself and Arini. Okay, I'll be playing a more supportive role in project management, interaction with all of you, while Arini will be carrying some of the information. Okay, she's the brain behind this, really. In identification of the pilot families, the neighborhood dynamics, and the roles, the training setup, the feedback systems, leadership roles. We will introduce on the social brain mapping. Okay, we will deliver them to you and identify learning spaces and the resources. And also we will establish the PICS, which is the social impact recording. Okay, and how you record your time, not your meeting time, but your actual social impact time. For example, if you are a teacher or a grandparent or a career woman, okay, who wants to be involved in this pilot and support a family, you can put in your social impact time where you assisting them in the learning process for the family, for the child. Okay. And we will give you a link where you'll be registered as a PICS volunteer. You need to be registered, because right now all of you are not registered. So when you register, you will get initial points. Okay, starting with $1, but after that it adds on. Okay, we have to start with $1 because we want you to be serious about this. $1 is nothing, right? But after that, you build it up with the work, with the time that you put in. Now, the phase 2, let me put it here. Okay, on the WhatsApp and on the chat. Put it there. Okay, so this is the for phase 2, which is the months 4 to 6. Training, hub development and sustainability. Advanced parent, educator, and staff training. Okay. Wise choices program implementation. We'll activate the community hub. We get the wide community more involved. It's all been set up. We will start working on the integrated food garden. So the integrated food gardens only comes in the later part, not the first 3 months. Okay. First 3 months are more preparation, mental, getting you all assembled. Then the phase 2 also is the volunteer enablement, the train the trainer pathway, evaluation, reporting, and the scaling plan. Okay. So which means that, I just want to type something here for you. Okay. Yes. So during this 18-week pilot over the 6 months, this is what we will cover. But after the 6 months, that's when we will start having a licensing agreement. Okay. And then there'll be specialized areas which will be covered after the 6 months. So really going into the real implementation. Okay. And also there's clarity on who is all involved. The teachers will be more ready. They have an understanding of how it works. And then that's when the real work begins. Okay. Yeah, that's about it. Now, in terms of fundraising, all right, funds are based on the tools, okay, which need to be covered. Every family or participant can purchase certain tools, all right. We share that information with the eco-societies. We'll share it again. And also, each participant from the eco-societies, or it could happen as a group, would raise a certain amount of funds from the beginning and across the phases, the phase 1 and phase 2. So it can be a continuous fundraising as the parents contribute and also the wider community contributes, because they see this is something really real, something really great. Okay, so we allow for that initial amount to be paid, and then over time. We've made it easiest for the African continent to begin. We've said, okay, you can start with $200 US. That is separate from the tools. Tools are kept very low cost. Okay, we can print it locally. That's even better. That would be even cheaper, so sort of delivering and overseas costs. Now, any questions so far as I've shared this? No questions so far. Okay, you can always ask outside. Yeah.
When you're saying 10 participants there, you mean 10 children?
No, 10 participants. This means a parent, a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just want to know if it's the
No,
children
no.
or
It's
if it, okay.
mainly parents, teachers.
Yeah, okay, okay,
Yeah. We're preparing them, and then they will work with the children,
okay, fine, fine.
right?
Yeah,
So
I just
okay, and also administrators,
mhm.
people who are going to project manage, okay, the
Yeah,
managers, all of
yeah,
them, the
okay.
adults, okay, the
Yeah.
adults.
So
All right. So yeah, I think that's about it, really. Um, but what is important is that the local eco societies will have to work out certain things. They will have to work out where they will set up this home hub, this community hub. All right, and also what kind of resources they'll have to arrange for us to begin this process. Okay, so you need to get your 10 people, which is including your eco society leaders who are going to be part of the training because we want the leaders themselves. So 10 people, I think, should be a good number, right? We need you to tell us as soon as possible once you have your 10. Okay, because if it's, for example, Singapore, Tammy and Grace, already you are 2. Who are the other 8? Okay, so start preparing the names of the people who are going to seriously take part in all the 18 sessions. So we don't really have that much time. All right. I encourage you to get started. We have everything ready on our side. Now I'll share a little bit on what are the expected outcomes and value. Let me type it out here. Okay, here we go. I've typed it on the WhatsApp and also on the chat. Okay, take a look. The expected outcomes and values. Children will have improved emotional regulation and learning readiness, support for neurodiverse needs, strong character values development. For the families and educators, practical tools and confidence, stronger relationships, consistent language and approaches. For the community and volunteers, recognized and recorded social impact PICs. The PICs trial will be on this particular pilot. So if you want to really be involved in PICs, please be involved in the pilot. Even though you're not a parent, even though you're not a teacher, you can be part of the wider community. So skills development and leadership pathways. And this is an example for the Singapore, TTGD EcoSocieties Singapore. All of you, various parts are the affiliates. There will be enhanced employee well-being retention, understanding of that. Measurable DIME. I talked about DIME in our Singapore group. You've heard of DEI. DEI is diversity, inclusion, and equity, but that has not been proven to be common sense for organizations. So we have reworded it to DIME, diversity, inclusion, merit, and equity. So we will use this as part of the pilot delivery, of the future center delivery, of the eco societies development. You should always include merit, as you have DEI. We've seen around the world the DEI concept has actually been successful and also has failed very badly, because you have had people who are assigned to certain roles who do not have the merit, but they're considered under the minority, but they don't have the merit and they can't deliver. So this is very important. CSR and sustainability outcomes. Right? Now we want to achieve true sustainability, is not eco, but also human. I've talked about this many, many times, but that's really something to drill home. And leadership positioning in inclusive education. Okay. So publicity on the pilot to get greater funds raised can be done later part of the pilot. It's in the phase 2. especially in the first 3 months. So this is just a guide. Now I'll just open up to the floor. Let me see any questions that you have. Tammy, I will have a one-on-one. I will have a discussion with you and Grace, with Arini separately, on how we need to get set up for Singapore and how we need to start for that. Yeah. Okay. So anything else? You can drop us a note. I'll just stop this recording now.